Whoop, whoop. All right. We are live. We're a little bit late, but that's okay. Really nice day out. Had a picnic. Enjoyed ourselves. We were talking about Arron Spencer today. Um, he's he's a Arkansas. Let's say he's from Arkansas. He's a father military veteran who fatally shot a 67-year-old man, Michael Fosler, accused of sexually abusing his teenage daughter. His second-degree murder charge was dismissed with prejudice in 2026 due to law enforcement mishandling video evidence, who cleared the way for his run for county sheriff. Crazy, isn't that?
Wow.
Again. The shooting in 2024. Spencer woke up to find his teenage daughter missing. He tracked her to a vehicle driven by Fosler, who was out on bond after facing dozens of felony sex charges involving Spencer's daughter. Spencer forced the truck off the road and fatally shot Fosler during the confrontation, pleading not guilty, asserting he acted in self-defense to protect his child. I feel if you're protecting your child against something like that, that should be self-defense.
Yeah, really.
Absolutely. And if that was the judge's kid, he'd probably say the same thing. Or make it so it says the same thing. Campaign for sheriff. The primary victory following the initial charges, Spencer ran for Lanoke County Sheriff. He won in March 2026 Republican primary, defeating the three-term sheriff whose office has previously arrested him. The general election, because of the murder charges, have been permanently dismissed. Spencer remains clear to run in November general election as the Republican nominee. He is set to face Democratic nominee Brian Mitchell Sr. and independent candidate Larry Becknick. He should get it. He did what any father would do. If that was my kid and something happened to my kid like that,
I'd lose my shit.
Oh, yeah. Those charges should have been dismissed. That should have been a no-brainer right there. For real, I went the wrong one.
I got a nose lady spot on my glasses and it won't come off.
Well, they're awesome, aren't they?
I got it. It was terrible. Right in the dead center.
So yeah, he should. I don't blame him at all for doing that. He killed 67-year-old Michael Fosler. Well, yeah, absolutely. And the dismissal, a special state circuit judge, Rob Wilson, cited unique, specific, particular facts and circumstances of this case. Wilson also said he found out the conduct by law enforcement was so egregious that dismissal of this case is warranted. Spencer is a U.S. Army combat veteran, having scheduled to stand trial within weeks over Fosler's slaying on a charge of second-degree murder. Prosecutors alleged that Fosler was driving away with Spencer's 13-year-old daughter when her father caught him and shot him to death on October 8, 2024. Court documents show that on the night of the shooting, Spencer woke up at 1 a.m. to find his daughter missing from her bedroom and went searching for her in his truck. He found the girl in a passenger seat of a vehicle Fosler was driving. Spencer eventually forced Fosler's truck off the highway, and after an altercation, called 911 to report that he had shot the man. It's not like he even ran either. He stayed there until the police got there.
Well, kudos to him for standing up for his kid.
Absolutely. Prosecutors argue that, I'll tell you what, can you imagine the police getting there before he got the shooter, him,
And then, you had to watch this man take him on trial and say what he did when you could just.
Yeah, I would rather just kill him right there myself. Prosecutors argue that Spencer intentionally carried out the killing and argued that he could have contacted law enforcement officials during the pursuit rather than taking matters in his own hands.
Yeah. Yeah, so that guy can just walk free as he wants.
Yeah, and let it fall through the cracks.
Yeah. Spencer entered a not guilty plea to the murder charge subsequently filed against him, maintained that his actions were taken to protect his daughter from a predator. Because how do you know that predator ain't going to say anything to get him off the hook, too?
Right.
You don't know that. His attorneys have not denied that he shot and killed Fossler. At the time of the shooting, Fossler was released on a $50,000 bond while facing 43 criminal charges. There's only 43.
43?
What's 43? Shooting him and killing him. There you go. And that was, yeah. Those charges include sexual assault. Oh, Fossler, I'm sorry. Fossler, I thought he would talk about the father. I thought they said father. I'm sorry. That was Fossler has been released on a $50,000 bond while facing 43. Okay, so the dude that took
The
his
guy that
daughter,
was shot
he was
had 43 counts, including sexual assault, minor.
But no, before that, at the time of the shooting, Fossler had been released on a $50,000 bond while facing 43 criminal charges. So he was out on a bond when this happened.
Right, and it said internet stalking of children? That's horrible.
Included sexual assault, sexual indecency with child possession, possession of child abuse, imaginary and internet stalking of a child. Spencer's daughter was the sole witness and connected to alleged offenses. Spencer later said the event motivated him to seek the office of the sheriff in Lona County, Arkansas. He challenged the incumbent sheriff, John Staley, the official who oversaw his arrest and defeated him in the Republican primary held in March. Spencer is now off to face Democratic candidate Brian Mitchell Sr. for the office of sheriff in the heavily Republican county in November. He said in a statement that his message of accountability resonated with voters in the primary. The people of Anoke County stood up and chose transparency and accountability, Spencer said at the time. This campaign wasn't a campaign about me. It was about every family who called for help and got nothing. That betrayal ends tonight. Yeah.
Here's a play-by-play of how it went.
Yeah. Let's see. He found Spencer then stated he exited his vehicle with his firearm in hand and ordered Foster out of the vehicle and to lay down in the ditch. Spencer stated that he observed his daughter trying to exit the passenger side of the vehicle, but it appeared that Foster had grabbed her and stopped her from getting out. Spencer then stated that Foster exited his vehicle and had something in his hand, but Spencer did not know what it was. Spencer stated that Foster then lunged toward him, saying, "Fuck you." Spencer stated that that's when he opened fire on Foster, emptying his weapon before jumping on top of Foster and pistol whipping him. Spencer then stated that he got his daughter out of the vehicle and returned to his truck where he reloaded his weapon and called 911. Foster died at the scene. The state charged Spencer with second-degree murder in November 2024.
Wow.
He's lucky he got to her when he did, though.
Yeah, because it could have been worse, because he probably would have killed her. Absolutely would have killed her.
Said it grew national attention.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Wonder how many people backed him up.
Spencer's case was assigned to Judge Elmore, due to perhaps to the vigilant nature of the killing spree. Spencer's case quickly drew national attention. Elmore, however, seemed sympathetic to the prosecution and she seemingly bent over backward to help the state put Spencer in prison. She first issued an improper gag order prohibiting communications about issue in the case by anyone associated with it, without a request from either side, order and the entire record sealed. The Arkansas Supreme Court stepped in a short time later, rescinding the gag order, which they said was on its face a plain manifest, clear and gross abuse of discretion and its excess of its authority. Elmore then tried to put a limit public access on the case. She entered a new order on January 13th, just 13 days before the scheduled start date for Spencer's trial, that limited public and media access to only 20 attendees during the jury selection and only 55 attendees, exclusive of parties, counsel staff, family members, observers, and media for the actual trial. Again, the Supreme Court got involved. This time, a bare 4-justice majority ordered Eleanor removed from the case entirely. Special Judge Ralph Wilson Jr. appointed in Eleanor's place. She didn't sound like she was very nice. Oh,
Maybe she was one of his relatives.
Oh, yeah. And just really about one of the strangeness of this whole situation, Spencer won the Republican primary for a Lone Oak staff for county sheriff, beating the incoming Sheriff John Staley, which deputies had arrested Spencer in the first place. Spencer faces Democrat Brian Mitchell Sr. and independent candidate Larry Benek in November. Now, as this case was going through its strange twists and turns, Spencer's attorneys filed a motion to dismiss the case on the basis of the violation of Spencer's due process rights. They said Lone County Deputy Ravi McLean failed to properly document the location, position of the dash cam in Fosso's truck before McCain removed it. In violation of Lone County, the sheriff's office rules. McCain then noticed the memory card in the camera, removed it, and put it in its own laptop to view the contents before packaging the camera to transfer to Arkansas.
Isn't that kind of odd?
Removing the card before sending the camera was also a violation. They further contend that McCain failed to photograph the memory card, record anything about it, or mark or as a separate piece of evidence. Again, all in violation of sheriff's protocol. McCain also admitted that he waited over a year between Spencer's arrest and when he logged the dash camera as evidence in the case.
What?
At some point between McCain removing the card and the camera being received by digital forensics unit, the memory card was lost and never recovered, and no copy has been made. Spencer and his attorney said that intended to argue that he was justified in shooting Fossil based on the circumstances at the time. The shooting evidence on that dash cam memory card they could have contended was highly relevant to Spencer's justification argument. So because Dave fucked that up, he got, yeah.
But what were they trying to cover up?
There they argued that since they failure to properly document and preserve the memory card violated Spencer's right to due process and a fair trial, so that it warranted to dismiss the case entirely. Absolutely. Because you had rightful evidence there and they took it. Prosecutors denied that there was any wrongdoing. Of course they would. They pointed to McCain's testimony that he had viewed the contents of the memory card on his laptop and didn't see anything that would have been helpful to Spencer, but we don't know that.
Right.
And his order of dismissing the case, Wilson detailed that the myriad ways McCain said the sheriff office in general had messed up with their handling of the evidence. He noted multiple ways in which McCain's actions violated long-standing sheriff's office protocol, and said it all combined into a pattern of policy, procedure, and violations that gives the appearance of cover-up. It also showed a bad faith on the part of law enforcement, too. Wilson and Spencer's attorneys had shown that the memory card had potential value evidence as it would support Spencer's defense. The value of such evidence was readily apparent to law enforcement under the circumstances that Spencer could not obtain the same evidence from any other source. Yeah. So they dismissed it.
As they should. I mean, come on. You have your daughter's in a truck with someone like that. Of course you're gonna go nuts. I don't understand what they were hiding, that he pocketed the camera and the memory card, though. What else was on that footage?
I don't know. What? It got dismissed though.
So did he end up being the sheriff or not?
They didn't say. It said November is when they do it. 2026 November. That's when he goes. When the voting, I think, starts or something. I just want to shut him here in November. My notes say November. Right here. Yeah. In November. If so smart, don't do it.
I mean, what else are you supposed to do in that circumstance?
Now, what if he didn't find his daughter? And that guy survived and he killed his daughter? Then what?
Right.
You would have gotten, you didn't get no revenge on him. You can't do that to nobody else now. And he had,
I'm sure
He's
there's a
done
lot
it
of people
before.
out there that would risk going to jail to save their
he
kids'
was already on
lives.
bond for that stuff.
Well, then why are they even disputing it?
I don't know.
But that's a little hokey that he watched it and then it magically disappears. Why aren't they saying that officer's under?
Well, didn't you say the judge was his family? So maybe the judge
No,
told
I was being a smartass. I said maybe their family.
Oh,
You know how we were
I was
just
gonna
talking
say, I
about it's a
didn't-
small world. God
Gotcha.
knows who you know.
I was going to say, because I didn't read anything about
But I bet you
family.
that judge was pissed when she realized they screwed up and lost that.
Okay, I thought you said something about family. I'm like,
No.
I didn't see nothing in there. I was going to say family. But maybe
I mean, what other choice do you have, especially when you're?
maybe they have something against him or something. This guy.
Well, yeah, he probably plays by the book,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't want him to be able to go up for election. If he went to jail, he wouldn't have been able to, you know. A lot of dirty
They
people
thought they
out
were going to
there.
get him.
I just wonder what else was on that card. We'll never know.
I guess we'll never know.
That sucks. But how the hell does someone get out that has 43 counts of such grotesque acts?
He got out on a $53,000 bond. He must have had some money coming in.
43
67,
counts,
so he
including
had to-
sexual assault of a minor. He was stalking kids, possession of child pornography. Wonder what else was on those counts.
That's a disclaimer.
Saying I'm not going to use it
Oh, yeah.
against anything.
Right there. Oh. Right here. Is that it right here? Hold on.
Intent
that's him.
stalking of a child,
Michael
stalking of a
Palmer.
child, fourth degree assault, indecent with a child. So he was caught.
This is in 2024.
Another one. Or
Look
that's
at-
the same charge.
And defendant deceased. That's because he's deceased now. That's why
Right.
it's.
What's pandering?
I think Lori.
Possession medium, sexual conduct child. He was. Oh my.
Mm-hmm.
The list just keeps going. All the way to 43. But are these.
Like he persuaded or encouraged.
So are each one of these against a different child he did, or are these just repeat defenses?
I don't know. I don't.
Because look
That's
at how
where the
many
43
there are.
defenses come in at.
Yeah. It's the same thing,
Yeah.
same thing. This scumbag deserved to get put in the
Jeez, where
ground.
was he at? A park? That was a defense. That's all the same
There's
with
the
it. It's
judge,
just,
yeah.
yeah, they closed the case.
Case type felony. Yeah, he was deceased, so I ain't gonna get nowhere. But that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he looks like a decent guy. I'm sure he had his head on his shoulders, especially if he was going for sheriff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he's going to win a lot of votes knowing he stands up for what he believes in. House. These people. He looked like a real scumbag. That's him, ain't it?
This? Oh. Who shot? Yeah, that's probably him right there, the guy he shot, because this is what this guy looks like right here.
I know the sheriff looks like, but I think that's the guy that he shot.
Yeah. Yeah, he's 67, so probably.
He looks like that guy from Popeyes who says, I'll gladly pay you for a hamburger Tuesday
Oh,
for
yeah.
a hamburger today. Wow.
Isn't there Bruno or something?
Only 13 years old. Oh, wait a minute. She was sexually assaulted by him already.
So those are probably from her. Oh, that was Wimpy.
I thought he caught her before the act, but 13-year-old when she revealed that she had been sexually assaulted. So that's why he went off the deep end.
That's why he got the charges. Too, yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha. So she told Daddy, and Daddy went nuts.
Yeah, because she was in the car. He found her in the car with him. That's just, yeah.
He looks young.
That was, so she's like 15 now.
That's a shame. I think they should sodomize all these people instead of sticking them in jail, wasting our tax dollars. Cut it all off. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
43 charges and he's outrunning the roads.
Her mother, Heather Spencer, described the event as terrifying, deeply affected the family. Following the incident, the family have been navigating therapy proceedings with maintaining for safety and privacy. The case has drawn national attention. Spencer's daughter remains a minor, whose the case has drawn national attention. And Spencer's daughter remains a minor whose identity is protected.
Well, Christ, at
Yeah.
13, she's sexually assaulted and sees her father kill someone. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I could see putting her in counseling.
The 67-year-old man connected to a family friend. The abuse reported began after Fossler obtained her phone number and continued while he was out on bond, facing multiple felony charges, including sexual assault, possession of child pornography. Despite a no-contact order, Fossler attempted to continue to target her. So, those charges he had was because of her, but he was he was a friend, he was a family friend. And then he ended up getting the girl's phone number, and he still kept. Wow. I wanted to continue to target her.
Look, he discovered his daughter missing from their home.
In Lonoke County, he located her in his vehicle. Because he woke up at like 1 o'clock in the morning to discover her missing. He already knew where to look. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I can understand that. So, I know we still have plenty of time left. And this guy's it's done with him.
Look how cute she was.
Mm-hmm. At least she's still alive too. Did you see that? Mackenzie, the one Hell on Wheels.
Yeah,
Her appeal got denied.
I wasn't surprised about that because the family's raising holy hell about it still.
Well, that documentary thing, that brought a lot of attention to it.
It's getting a lot of attention with that.
Mackenzie Shirilla.
I think pretty much everyone's seen it on Netflix by now.
Yeah, she got denied, so she'll be like 33 by the time she's able to appeal again. Also,
She still looked awful smug when they were giving her that, though. And have we heard anything else about Tina?
No, I have to. Tina should be calling me within the next couple of days, and I'll hear more about it. But that's not until August. Oh, Krista Pike. She is the one we talked about her. She is the one that's who killed that girl with her boyfriend and some other girl that didn't get, she got some probation for testifying. She goes for the death penalty September 30th this year. Now she's claiming, my understanding, she's claiming she can't. She's trying to appeal that she can't have lethal injection because of her veins and it would hurt. Considering what she just did to the other girl. But so her only other option is the electric chair. You got nothing against that. We're giving you some updates on some of this stuff. Since this podcast was a little shorter than what we thought. Now there's somebody that's trying to fight the death penalty too in Ohio, saying that we shouldn't be doing the death penalty, but I hope that doesn't go through.
Something about humanity.
Yeah.
But they don't think about that when they torture their victims. How it's inhumane.
Yeah.
So does she get a doctor's note saying that this is true? Because
so they're arguing that Tennessee's lethal injection. Oh, it was Tennessee. I'm sorry, but they're talking about lethal injection. They're talking about death penalty altogether, which relies on a single dose of pentobarbital, which would cause her. It would drown her in her own blood, continuing cruel and unusual. They're saying that it's cruel and unusual punishment. Pike has filed legal motions to halt her scheduled September 2026 execution, citing multiple medical and religious complications. That didn't go for a lot of people though. So, somebody said the religion is that they didn't want to. They couldn't see themselves dying or something, or watch themselves die or something like that. And yeah. Her lawyers state that she suffers from small veins, making IV insertion
difficult or impossible in a blood disorder called thrombocytosis, which could cause a bloody froth in her lungs during the execution. At that point, it really doesn't matter. They can just give her some stuff and knock her out. She won't know. Just saying. The
So
state,
because she might get a clot that goes to her lung and kill her, they shouldn't lethally inject her.
the state law provides death row inmates to commit crimes before 1999, which she did. They often choose electric chair, but Pike argues this violation with her Buddhist beliefs against active participation in her own death. You're gonna have no choice. You can't. You're gonna die anyway. You can't participate in that. You were gonna participate in your death when you
But
ordered.
did she think
my
she was
card?
going to hit the button or something?
Yeah. Everybody participates in their own death because everybody dies.
Well, she participated by breaking the damn law and hurting someone.
Her defense team also argues that mostly male guards forcibly strapped her to a gurney would trigger severe PTSD from her history of sexual abuse. That has nothing to do with.
Excuses.
Yeah, that's all it is. Her attorneys proposed to state to use tiny butterfly needle or a central line to facilitate the lethal injection, or that she be hanged instead.
So it's against her beliefs, her religion, because she has small veins. What's her religion say about hurting and harming people, though?
No, but it says, my understanding that she could be, or that she could be hanged instead.
You don't die right away when you hang.
Well,
In the movies, they did because it was a movie.
her friend
but in
didn't
real
die
life-
right away when they beat the crap out of her.
Right.
I wonder how she feels about being hanged. She argues that Tennessee's limit on clergy, which excludes her Buddhist spiritual advisor, restricts her sincerely held religious belief of Buddhism. And it violates her First Amendment rights. That's what she says. And burdens her right to be free, to be a free exercise of religion. The new protocol also limits communication with her spiritual advisor during the final. Now, this was a problem with another one, too. They said that they cannot have any kind of like nobody in that room anymore. No.
Nobody watching anywhere.
Well, they can watch from things, but inside the room where she's at, they can't have like the priest or anybody in there anymore. They won't allow that. And that had to do with something else, not this one. They were exempted from 12 hours for execution, something her attorneys argued unconstitutional. Executed in 2025, they were exempted from this 12-hour blackout rule. And that the contact with their spiritual advisor is challenging the state's death penalty protocol requires Ms. Pike to provide a plausible alternative method of execution, which she argues would violate her religious beliefs by requiring her to participate and leading to her own death. Her counsel argues that the state's requirement infringes on Ms. Pike's spiritual beliefs do not further a compelling government interest. So
it's okay to hang her and wait till she suffocates, which could take a while.
I'm okay with that.
Or
And I'm saying,
and be injected, take the chance of getting a blood clot and dying in a few minutes.
I'm saying I'm okay with that in a way, like, it's not nice to watch somebody suffer, but I know
why
we're not. I
should
know
she get a choice?
Well, I know we're not supposed to judge, and I'm not really judging. I'm just stating that if somebody commits a crime against somebody so heinous like she did with the one, then with the person that she killed, I feel eye for an eye on that. And that girl suffered and suffered and suffered, and I'm not judging. I'm not judging at all because I know it sounds like I am, but she did do a heinous crime, and some people believe in the death penalty. I'm kind of leery on both because sometimes people that get the death penalty don't deserve it. They didn't do what they did, or it wasn't deserved. Like somebody killed, like that guy. If he would have got the death penalty for helping kill his daughter's rapist, I don't feel that's fair either. But this right here, like with her,
she did do what she did. There's nothing that can say that she didn't do what she did. You know, with that girl, because she was like holding the piece up, you know, sharing with everybody, saying everything that she, you know.
Right.
You know, her boyfriend, I honestly feel that they should have both got the same sentence, but he was 17, so they couldn't give it to him. If she would have been 17, she would have got life too. I mean, nobody deserves to die, especially
So if they're gonna go as
but
far as taking and giving her a chance, she has a choice of hanging. Why not go as far as she beat that poor girl? Why not rock her like they used to?
I believe an eye for an eye. Like I said, we don't judge. We're just stating that, you know, depending on the crime, it should be depending on how they're sentenced.
Right.
So they give them choices. She had that, or she could have, you know, be hanged. That's her two choices.
I didn't know they still did that, but apparently Tennessee still does that.
Well, there's one state that still does where they
Firing
shoot
squad.
them down.
Yeah. There's only a couple that do that. But I honestly didn't know Tennessee had a, you know, they do that too. Now, from my understanding, now Tennessee was talking about in 2023 adding the fire squad. But then,
They call
Republican
it
state,
lynching.
yeah, the state representative Paul Sherrill asked if he could introduce an amendment to including hanging by a tree as an option. So I don't know.
Suggest hanging by tree as form of capital punishment. So, but why should she get a choice? Your victim
Honestly,
didn't get a choice.
if she did that heinous of a crime, she should get like the electric chair. I'm not judging. Like I said, we've already been through everything on here, but
you have a right to your opinion, just like everyone else. And my opinion is, she shouldn't get a choice.
now,
I mean,
Tadero Ship, he just went up for parole, wasn't it last year? And he went up and got denied, and so he's gonna be, his next date ain't till like 2056 or something, or 2036 is it? It's a ways away. I think he got like 10 more years or something to, I can't think of it. Now she's scheduled September 30th, 2026. She'll be the first woman to be executed in Tennessee in more than 200 years. And executed for the state for a crime committed at age 18, 19, or 20. In 1995 at 18, that's when her and two other teens did that. And the other teen, I think wasn't she like 17? Tadero Ship was 17. He received life sentence and not eligible for parole. Shadella Pearson, who was 18, testified against Pike and Ship and received probation. That's what it was.
27 states currently authorize the death penalty still.
I believe it. And honestly, that's probably, I mean, they should keep the death penalty, because I'll tell you what, that probably scares a lot of people not want that death penalty. You know, like maybe I shouldn't have did that crime.
Missouri, Georgia, and South Carolina still do the firing squad.
Ohio delayed due to legal and drug supply issues. Wow. I don't think, well, there's probably quite a few in Ohio. I don't know.
23 states abolished it. Wow. Lethal injection. They all do lethal injection. I don't see a whole lot of electric chairs anymore.
Wow. Oklahoma has a historically high of execution rates. There's only a few. Alabama does lethal injection nitrous hypoxia. First state to use nitrous oxide in 2024. Arkansas does the same thing. That's crazy.
New Mexico abolished it? I thought they were one of them that did the firing squad.
I don't know more.
Right here, firing squad allowed in limited circumstances in a few states opt in as a backup.
If lethal injection is unavailable.
So
I don't
she
know.
should get the firing squad.
Can you imagine being in line for a firing squad? Like, you'd be all, like, tied up and your eyes, like, covered and stuff. Like, you just ain't gonna know when it hits. Your adrenaline's running.
As soon as
Heart's
you hear
pumping.
that click, it's already too late.
Mm-hmm. My luck, they'd miss. And they'd hit, like, my spine or something. And I'm like, yeah, she's paralyzed, let her go.
Huh.
But, yeah, so, yeah, that's crazy. So, Tennessee, so their prohibited all protocol, which went into effect December 2024, was developed as a result of multi-year lethal injection protocol review. Her lawsuit alleges that the state's new pentobarbital protocol is plagued with the same issues they have marked botched executions for decades. The law alleges that the protocol is unconstitutional as applied to Ms. Pike because it fails to provide a contingency plan with the emergency medical services on site even in an event of a botch. That's just a chance you're going to have to take. They said they would use a tiny needle, a butterfly needle. That's what they said they would do. She said that her suit is, she has thrombocytosis, a blood clotting condition, bipolar, PTSD, small vein, make the insertion because of the blood clotting condition. The suit alleges execution by pentobarbital, which will likely produce an even more pattern of frothy blood in the lungs. The death is drowning in one's own blood. The lawsuit argues that because of her medical conditions, there's a subsequent risk that Miss Pike will experience unnecessary, super added pain and suffering, terror, and disgrace. Well, she can remember it. That's for sure. Pike has already entered a lifetime of trauma, sexual abuse, and neglect. In December 2024, after 28 years of functional solitary confinement, she was in solitary confinement for a long time. Like, she got out not too long ago.
Wasn't she in there practically the whole time?
Yeah. But she was also doing things she wasn't supposed to either. She got a couple guards fired and all kinds of stuff. The agreement gave her equivalent opportunities to the men on death row, including a job, shared meals with other incarcerated women, more time out of herself, a last
nearly 30 years, Ms. Pike had been subjected to solitary confinement in the cell size of a parking space where she has nearly no meaning of human contact. Ms. Pike is seeking permanent injunction against the new execution protocol and the addition of contingency plan of life-saving procedures in the execution goes RA. And the removal of a 14-day isolation period. Prisoners Terry King and Donald Middlebrooks have received stays of execution to allow for the legal challenges and state previous protocols to be heard. Ms. Pike is asking for the same thing.
Alright, so she's using Buddhism for an excuse not to get.
Yeah, she's using her health conditions, but why didn't you think about this at the time 30 years ago when all this was going on?
But I
now
looked
that's
it up,
coming
and it
closer.
says Buddhism also does. Look at it. Lovely. It says you can't commit grave crimes. So they should have thrown that in her face and said.
Even murderers are considered to be in the human form from the highest possible rebirth. When the nightland is possible, killing them removes their opportunity to reform and progress on the path of liberation. Yeah. So it's like,
why didn't they call her out on it?
In practice, while most Buddhist countries still retain capital punishment, many Buddhist leaders and communists for its abomination, aligning in global human rights. Right here, in summary, killing, even as punishment, is against the first perceived. That's for them.
Yeah. So
she shouldn't have did that. It says Buddhist. That's why it says Buddhist traditions they oppose capital punishment. But I mean.
Capital punishment
Not to be judgmental here, but not to be judgmental here, but your religion shouldn't impact that kind of thing. Like, you committed that crime, your religion shouldn't have nothing to do with that. You should have thought about your religion before you did it.
A lot of people get religious after they're in prison, though.
That's true. That's very true.
You got to remember that. She might have decided to.
I know she was into that kind of stuff. But
she didn't follow the script then.
Yeah, she was into that kind of stuff, but religion shouldn't be. You shouldn't be able to do any kind of religion like that. Like, use your religion against your capital punishment like that. Yeah.
Wow.
You got way longer than a lot of people get for like the death penalty. You were in there like 30 years, dude. She was supposed to get.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying she was supposed to get the death penalty a year after that happened. They said it, and then the appeals kept coming and coming and coming.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know, but we'll have to keep you. We figured we'd update you on a couple of those things. Her time's coming quick. I know she's probably sweating it too. I know if it were me, I'd be sweating that death penalty.
Yeah, how many times can you appeal the death penalty, though?
I think her appeals are all done. I mean, now they're just trying to come up with anything they can to say. And I mean, the most they could do was like, turn it to life without parole. That's the only other thing she could probably get is life without parole.
Yeah, but they're not going to keep her in confinement the whole time.
No.
And the way this world's so small, there's probably someone in there that's somehow related to this person that she hurt. And
yeah, that's probably, no, I'm just saying, she's probably, if they do, like, turn it around and say, you know what, we'll give her life without parole, she'll be out in, like, I think she's out in regular population now, as far as I know, unless she got put back in. So,
it said she was placed in prolonged solitary confinement because she was the only woman sentenced to death in Tennessee.
Well, I know she was doing all kinds of stuff in there, too. She was pretty busy in there. Yeah. It was like spent almost 30 years. Her Her settlement
A
ensures that
7 by 12-foot
Mm-hmm.
room.
Yep. 22 to 24 hours a day.
No socialization, no education, no religious programming, no physical interaction with other inmates or staff. Well, if she was in there, how could she cause any more problems if she isn't allowed?
Didn't she
She
tried to escape or something at one
she
time?
reached a settlement that ended the isolation. She sued the state. And she got privileges for working, sharing meals.
They tried to sue the state.
That's what it says.
Did they win?
It says she sued the state in September 24. They reached a settlement that ended the isolation.
Oh, the settlement was to end isolation?
Yeah. Didn't get her out, just got her out of that 7 by 12-foot room. That's a small box.
Mm-hmm.
30 years. I didn't realize she was in that long.
Yep. She's been there since like 96, 97, I think. 96.
Solitary confinement lasting 30 years despite her being on death row. Well, we'll find out soon.
Yeah. In 2012, escape plot. In March 2012, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation uncovered a successful conspiracy to break Pike out of Tennessee prison. They fired the conspirators. The plot involved the recently fired correction officer Justin Heflin and a frequent visitor Donald Cahow. Investigators found that money has changed in hands in effort to facilitate her escape. The plot involved Throughout her multi-decade imprisonment, Pike has also been investigating separate plots to convince men to help her escape, and she received an additional attempt murder charge for conviction for trying to kill another inmate. Her current status, she remains incarcerated on death row where she has been held since 1996. Her attorneys are actively navigating appeals and legal challenges against the state's execution protocols and death sentence. So she's trying to escape and all kinds of stuff. See how that worked for her.
She's counting down her days. Maybe we should try and contact her one more time.
Yeah, because it says two men, including the former prison guard, had also been arrested and connected to the plan. Justin Heflin and Donald Cahow were arrested this week, charged with planning the escape of Krista Gale Pike. Pike, 36, was sentenced to death in March 1996 for murdering 19-year-old Colleen Slimmer. And in 1995, she was also serving time for attempting to murder a fellow inmate. In Oxford, 1995. Okay, she also was serving time for attempting murder of a fellow inmate in 2004. Today, all three are behind bars. Wow. Heflin worked as an officer at the Tennessee Prison for Women until he was terminated on March 5th, 2012 in February. A grand jury indicted him on charges of bribery, official misconduct, conspiracy to commit escape, and facilitation to commit escape. Heflin is currently being held in Davidson County Jail on a $75,000 bond. This was back in 2012, though. A third member of the trio was Cahote, 34. He met Heflin on his frequent trips to the prison to visit Pike. He was arrested Monday morning and is being held at the Hunterdon County Jail for $250,000 bond. He's been charged with counts of bribery, conspiracy to commit escape. They found contraband evidence within the jail and discovered that Heflin might be involved. The investigation revealed that he had been receiving gifts and money for his assistance in plotting the escape. Yeah. That's crazy.
It says she is acting for the sentence to be commuted to life imprisonment as an act of mercy.
Mm-hmm.
Where was that thought when she was hurting someone?
She's trying her hardest to get out of this, that's for sure. And if you are watching an interview, she says, I don't worry about the death penalty or the chair because I don't think I'll ever see it. You might not see the chair, but you're going to see the needle or you're going to be hanging. Which I don't think Tennessee does hanging. I don't know if that was just a figure of speech or what. Well, I mean, maybe that'll be one separate thing. Maybe they'll just do that just as an alternative. I'm not really for sure. So, our next one want to do that one? Our next one's going to be on John Benet Ramsey. I don't know if you guys all remember that. That was a long time ago. When that little girl got killed and they don't know who did it. I want to say it was in 94, wasn't it? Oh, 96. She died December 26, 1996. That's what it was. Oh. I think everybody knows about that case, and there's a movie out about it, and lots and lots of documentaries on it.
Right.
And definitely can't miss that one. Isn't the mother dead? She had breast cancer or something?
I don't know.
Well, it's positive the mother's dead. I think the father's still alive. They, yeah. There's a lot of stuff about this case that we can really talk about on this one. I was just actually reading up on this the other day and watching some stuff on it that showed up. It was really interesting. They did change the address on it, though, of the house. They thought it'd be July 12th if we do it again. If that's what you're looking for. Oh. July 12th will be our next one. 8 p.m. YouTube. We're gonna have to download all this stuff on Spotify and everything. But if anything changes, just go on our page. And we'll change everything. You guys have any questions or anything about it? No suggestions I see today about wanting to
What's up with this animal?
I don't know. Looks like a deer.
It looks tweaked out.
Alright, well, we'll see you guys on the 12th of July, 8 p.m.